Hello, hello, and welcome back to the What We Said podcast, everybody. Hope you're having a fantastic day so far. JC and I are rounding out our tour as we're recording this. Not when you're watching it, it'll probably already be done. But I'm kind of sad because it's coming to an end.
By the time this is up, it'll be over, which is so bittersweet. I feel like it's been obviously just a very hectic, chaotic time with just traveling and all of that. But it has also just been so much fun.
So fun.
So rewarding. I feel like being able to see people in person just makes us feel like we actually do have a real job and like we actually do have a podcast, because sometimes when we're just sitting, by ourselves recording, it just feels like we're talking to each other, which is pro and a con, because that's probably why we're willing to say things that we do. But to like be in a room with you guys is so special. So I'm really going to miss that. Not that I'm like, you'll never see us again.
And we're gone after that.
No, like obviously I'm sure we'll do more live shows in the future, but it's just been a very special few months. So
yeah, it's been really fun.
I feel like this whole tour has also been getting us back in our manifestation era, which I'm so grateful for, because
we've been feeling like the sky's the limit.
We've had a few years where we've been tired. We've been new mamas, and we're back. And
we're back, baby.
That's why I'm very excited for today's episode. If you're watching on YouTube, you will see that we are at the Dear Media studio, actually, which is very exciting. We honestly very rarely have guests on this podcast, and you guys know that. We were able to have Ashley Graham on a few months back, which was so fun. And we only want to have guests on that really align with the show and that we know you guys will love.
And with what we're interested in.
Yes. We're so excited about this one because we're having Mimi Bouchard on, and she is so inspiring. And I feel like she created this app called Activations, and it is so good. Chelsea and I both got hooked on it, and we're like, we need her on the podcast. Like, I feel like you guys will just eat this up, especially if you are also into the whole lucky girl energy, dream life vibes, you know what I mean? I feel like we have both separately kind of gone through ruts, sometimes at the same time, sometimes different times, but I feel like it's very easy to get stuck in a negative thought pattern, or to see bad things that happen in your life or to people around you, and to take that on as like, oh, this is, bad things happen to me, I'm not lucky. Like, I feel like it's very easy to get stuck in those patterns, and sometimes you need a little refresh to get you out of that. And that was something that I liked that we talked about a lot with her, is like literally kind of rewiring your brain to think of a different thought pattern, because I get so sick of my own negative thought patterns. Like, they bother me.
Yeah, I'm so frustrating.
Yes, I'm like, I have the same just habits that annoy me to no end. And this episode was really inspiring me to be like, I do have the power to like shift those a little bit. And even though I can't control everything that happens in my life, like, also as a side note before this episode, I would consider myself very realistic and like a skeptical person. I'm not someone who's just like, yeah, you just wave your magic wand and like all your manifestations will come true. Like, I don't think that way at all. And so I like that Mimi is like real about all of it.
It's very approachable.
Yes. I like her mindset a lot. And she also, she talks the talk and she walks the walk, because her life is evidence and proof that this mindset shift is so powerful. And like, she makes a lot of money. She's very successful. She has her dream relationship. We're going to talk about her wedding. She had her dream wedding. And it's like, I feel like she's just living proof of all of these.
If you're somebody who also is very moved by music or art or something, like, this is the perfect app for you, because it has this beautiful music that's like orchestrated. She talks about this also, like, they have a whole team that does the music. It's basically scoring your life. And she also walks you through, her voice will walk you through motivation. So it gets you quite literally activated to make the changes and to romanticize your life. There are so many different activations on there, so it depends on what you're listening to. There are a lot of ones about gratitude that I like. There's ones about money. There's ones about your relationship. There's a whole bridal section if you're in your bridal era. So basically catered to you to get you to start thinking positively
and to visualizing like your future and tapping into that future self, which she talks a lot about too.
Yeah, and just focus on intention in a positive way, because I think we we're going to be thinking no matter what. But what I love about it is that it really trains your mind in those simple moments of, I like to listen when I'm like folding my laundry or when I'm getting dressed. There's one for getting ready. There's a lot of them for getting ready. When you're getting dressed, when you're doing your skincare, there's ones for at the end of the day where it's gratitude. There's ones for journaling. These things that you do in your day-to-day life, it's going to maximize your energy and your potential in those little moments. And then it kind of like alerts you when you're doing those moments to think the same way as the activations are telling you, if that makes sense. It's like a little
it's like a ripple effect.
Yes.
Also, like it bleeds into other areas of your life. I've been listening to the little pep talk ones because they're super quick. Like that's the other thing I feel like about certain apps or like mindfulness things is it feels like so daunting because it requires so much time. It's like, oh, sit down and for 30 minutes. And it's like, okay, I don't want to do that, number one. They have like a range of different lengths and stuff, but they have ones that are literally 2 to 5 minutes.
Very easy to start with.
Yes, that you can listen to while you brush your teeth or do your makeup. In the app, you can click, if you're getting ready for the day, if you're getting dressed, if you want to listen at the gym, if you want to listen on a walk, like they have it kind of separated. So it's super nice. Anyway, we're really excited about this interview. I think you guys are going to eat this up and we're all ready to become rich, hot, successful, healthy, happy, and all of those things. So without further ado, we will get into the interview. Thank you, Mimi, for being on our podcast today. We're so excited to have you.
I'm so pumped for this. You guys have no idea. I am so happy to be here.
Thank you for
coming.
We have been stalking your wedding content online for the past week. And I was like, I don't want to talk about this before the interview because I just want to get all the wedding details from you yourself. But number one, I just have to say, the most beautiful wedding I've seen in a long time. Like
so elegant,
stunning.
so chic.
Thank you so much.
The photography was so gorgeous. Like I loved how everything was framed so beautifully and so intentionally. It's so gorgeous.
Thank you.
Flowers and your dress was so elegant. And I'm excited for this episode because we're talking all about like being in your element and being your best future self and having your dream life. And I'm like, that wedding is like it's giving dream
evidence.
Life. Yes, it's evidence. Do you feel like it was your dream wedding?
It was my future self wedding. Like I honestly felt so aligned the entire day. And that didn't come by chance. Like I prepped myself. I knew that I was going to put pressure on myself as we all do as brides. I knew that I might, be ticked off from a family member, someone not showing up last minute because that happened. A few people dropped out the night before. Things like that happen to everyone. But really, I think I did the work beforehand and I did so many visualizations of like how I wanted to feel that day. We actually launched a whole bridal series on activations and also, the craziest thing about the wedding, the photos were incredible. Katie Julia, my photographer, was just out of control, but the energy was captured because the song that I walked down the aisle to was custom composed by one of our top composers for the app, Judah Earl. And he actually lives in LA, and I came here last year to like write it with him and create it. And I flew him in from LA to the English countryside for the wedding, and he played it in real life with like a string quartet and with his piano. And this moment that I was visualizing while listening to this song for weeks before, it was an out of body experience. I felt high.
No, I
felt high the whole time.
Oh my gosh,
that is so special. I will say the music on the app is so beautiful.
Thank you.
Like it's such a special element of it. I absolutely love that. Yeah, I was just looking at your wedding photos last night and I was like, I need to talk to her about this. Also, your honeymoon because you went to Africa, right?
Yeah,
and I want to hear about the safari experience.
Yeah, it was kind of like the craziest combination, like the dream wedding. And then 2 days later, we got onto a plane, which in hindsight, I actually probably would have done it maybe a week later because 2 days later was a lot to go on a crazy safari adventure in the Serengeti. But it was wild. Like I'm so
It looked
blessed.
amazing.
It was
That's on my bucket list to go on a safari.
It has to be on everyone's.
Yeah.
It was a once in a lifetime situation. And Ben and I, my husband, we were thinking, okay, where should we go? Honeymoon, everyone's like going to Japan this year. I was like, okay, we could go to Japan, or we could, the Serengeti safari has always been top of our list. And we thought now is the time, like before we have kids and stuff. You can't really do that with young children.
Yeah.
Maybe when they're a bit older.
Yeah,
but,
you gotta leave them at home for that.
Yeah, it's a bit
probably.
dangerous having a lion literally half meter away from you. And
Oh my
then
gosh.
But no,
I was gonna ask, is it terrifying? The safari, or is it like, oh, they're so calm? It's like, when you're on a plane and when there's
No,
turbulence,
I
you
was-
look to the flight
yeah.
attendant and they're calm.
No, I was in fight or flight.
Oh,
at the time,
okay.
but in a good way. Like it was adventure.
Yes.
But we had some crazy experiences. Like it's an open vehicle, and you have like lions and leopards and like
That picture you
elephants
took of was it a leopard in the tree? I'm like,
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
I hope that was on 5X. That looks
No,
way
it was,
too close.
It could have jumped off and come onto our It was, and then the scariest moment though of the entire week was I literally on foot came face to face with a black mamba snake. Do you know those? Those are like the
I don't
most
know, but it
poisonous.
sounds terrifying.
It's like the most dangerous snake in the world, basically, because they like attack humans, and one bite, you like die within an hour.
Oh,
You're like, my dream honeymoon.
Yeah,
I know.
perfect.
No, I ran. You have no idea. But it was funny. Like we laughed the whole
Yeah.
time. But listen, it's intense.
yeah.
It's intense.
Yeah, you went from like elegance
Yeah,
to literally
to like
roughing
crazy
it.
adventure.
Yeah.
And it was intense, but it was beautiful. And the culture there in Africa, in Tanzania, where we were, was just amazing. We just ate the best food and met the best people. It was just, a really special experience I'll remember
Oh
forever.
my gosh, I love that so much.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
I feel like you're such a good example just from seeing your content and obviously your app and everything else of making your dreams come true. And there's so much I want to get into, but I
know.
mostly want to know, I'm like, literally, where do I begin? But I mostly want to know if you've always been this way.
JC and I are getting back into our manifestation era, so we're fiending.
Yes,
Like, I have so many thoughts.
Yes.
Okay, where do we begin?
Same. Have you always been this way though, where just like innately in you, you kind of have this abundant mindset?
No.
Okay, give us the tea.
And by the
when
way,
did it switch?
for everyone listening, you could have just seen me about 12 years ago and then realized, that's like the proof that we can change our thoughts, we can change our personality, we can change our self-image, we can change our lives. And I'm definitely living proof. I'm not special. I didn't wake up when I was a kid one day and think, you know what, this is like, no, I was in a very dark place. Every single pillar of my life, and in my book, Activate Your Future Self, I write about the 5 pillars of your life. You have your mental, physical, financial, social, spiritual. Every pillar in my life at the time, about just over a decade ago, was lacking in a really big way. I was living paycheck to paycheck. I was feeling extremely unfulfilled. I was incredibly self-conscious. I didn't like how I felt in my body. I was a bit heavier. Didn't feel good in my body. I had a lot of just like disordered thoughts and ways of living. And I felt very disconnected and very stuck and very helpless, actually. So
And how old were you at that time?
I was in my early 20s.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I came to a point where I needed to change something. And it wasn't this one day I woke up and had this moment. You know how people always talk about transformation? They're like, what was the moment? Oh, I woke up, this thing happened. It didn't happen like that for me. It was kind of gradual, and it was a bit of a build. And it was just listening to that little voice inside of me, kind of whispering, hey, I think you might be meant for more. I think you might, be happier living a different type of life. So I started listening to that voice, and then I started getting into personal development and kind of doing all the things, all the confusing things everyone tells you to do when you start diving into self-help. There are all these different complicated routines you need to do. And I was kind of just trying to do it all at that point. And I felt slow, incremental changes for sure for a year or two as I was diving into all of this work. But then I'd kind of go back to the old self and the old bad routines. And I wasn't changing as fast as I wanted to. And I'm the type of person that I like a shortcut. I like things done quickly. I'm impatient.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I felt like there was something missing. And at that time, a lot of these experts were also saying, oh, you should meditate. And I kept trying to meditate, and I'd put it on my to-do list, and then I'd kind of not do it. And then I'd feel shame for not doing it. And I also just came to this realization. I didn't understand how meditation would help me in that phase of my life. I was trying to get motivated and disciplined and inspired. And I wanted to really start taking action and feel this energy towards changing my life. And nothing against meditation. Meditation's great to calm you down, to help you think about nothing and clear your mind. That's what it's designed for. But I was noticing I would try to meditate and I get this like itchy feeling of like, I just want to get up and go. I want to create. I want to be her now. I want to be who I want to be, and go live life like her and take action so I could build this life. So that's why I had this disconnect with meditation. I didn't want to slow down and calm my thoughts and think about nothing. I wanted to invigorate my life and start feeling it more. So one day, about 8-9 years ago, I was in my 200 square foot studio apartment and I was sitting there and I was reading a book on visualization. And I realized, okay, I need to integrate this into my life in a way that I'll actually do it. And it's not going to be sitting down and carving out 20 minutes out of my day to try to sit and do it. No, I need to make this an actual thing I do. So intuitively, I took my phone and I started recording a voice memo to myself. And it described my future self, the version of myself I wanted to be, how it felt to be her. And it was kind of mixed with some affirmations sprinkled in, just guided visualization. And then I listened to it and it was good, but it needed something else. So then I spent hours downloading GarageBand, adding inspirational cinematic music from YouTube, and I like crafted this audio that was intense, beautiful, transformative music with these words of guided visualization of just embodying my future self now. And I became addicted to this type of audio. I created dozens of them. I'd listen to them in everyday moments, not with my eyes closed. I was busy. I was working 4 jobs. I was trying to make my dreams a reality. I was, I couldn't sit and carve out that time, but I would listen to these audios while I was cooking dinner, while I was walking to work, while I was taking the bus, while I was at the gym. Kind of like how I would listen to a podcast. Like it was a certain time of the day that I felt like, okay, I want to get energized. I want to feel alive. I want to snap into it. And I'd listen to it. And then I'd feel like I'm moving through my day like I'm living my own movie. Like I'm that character.
Yeah, you're scoring your movie.
Yes.
I
like
love
I'm
that.
this character that's about to get everything she wants in life. And it started feeling really good. And then I started listening to it more. And I'm telling you, if you think about it or look at it like a graph, the beginning of my journey when I was kind of like doing all the things, waking up early, trying to do 3-hour morning routine, blah, 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 I was growing in a very slow way. And then it was like from the day I started listening to these homemade activations, it was this bell curve of growth. It was literally like, zoop, everything in my life started changing and I started changing. And I was kind of doing this as my own personal development tool for years. And then 4 or 5 years ago, decided to give it,
Share it to the world.
Share it to the world
Yeah.
and make more of like public versions. And, we have like 700 plus activations in the app now and stuff. But, and it's helped over 100,000 people change their lives at this point. It's kind of just blown up by itself because it's something that a lot of people have been like craving.
Yeah.
So that was kind of my journey. And it's like this wild compounding that happened. And then I started to realize that transformation is actually pretty simple.
Yeah, I feel like the thing for me, I noticed like is energy. Like when I'm listening to them, I feel like when I'm in a slump, and I have been recently, of just like feeling stuck mentally, of like mental obstacles where like there's nothing externally going on in my life that's like holding me back, but I feel stuck and I don't know where to start. It can feel so confusing, I think. And I think discouraging when you feel like, okay, I know I'm in a slump. Like I've recognized that. I know I'm feeling stuck. Everyone's telling me all these little things to do to get out of it, but none of it's working. And I need to figure out what works for me. The thing that I need the most in those moments is just like energy to get going. Yeah. Because once I'm going, then I have like actual energy pumping through my body. Then I have better ideas. Then I'm feeling happier. Then I'm not, it like literally launches me out of a victim mindset. And then I can have good ideas. And then I can be like, oh, actually, I think this might work for me. I think I should try this. I think that I'm like now in my, what is aligning with me and my life. What do I want for my life? And I feel like it's so simple to start with, like you were saying, like you would listen to it at the gym, and I've started listening to it when I get ready. What's the like getting dressed?
Getting ready activation.
Yes,
we have
getting ready. Oh, I love them.
Yeah.
Like they make me feel like it like connects me to the little girl in me. That's just like getting dressed is an art. Like it's something that shows me that I can be it's not just like, oh, what's going to be comfortable today? What's going to be like, this means something to me. And this is like how I'm showing people, this is the first thing they see of me.
It's so interesting you say it makes you feel like that little girl version of you,
Yeah.
because that little girl version of all of us, she sees potential everywhere. She sees the world as full of opportunity and possibility.
Mhm.
There's no restriction. So she sees that like big potential in life. And that's what these are designed to help you see. So it's really interesting that you bring it back to her.
No, it's true. It's like when you're little, everything is you're so present.
Yes.
And that's why like time slows down when you're little.
Yes.
That's why things just seem that's why you're always trying to get back to the inner child because yeah, you're right.
And you're also your true self when you're younger. And I always say that this work of becoming your best self, your future self, however you want to call it, because I always say future self, but I don't mean it's a version of you that's only available in the future. You can be your future self in this moment right now. I feel like my future self in this moment. So really this work is not about becoming something you've never been. It's about unbecoming everything that you're actually not. You've just taken on over the years and coming back to that like soul you inside of you, that little girl you, that essence of that soul you. You know what I mean?
Totally.
It's so, when you're saying that, it's so interesting because I do feel like when people are stuck or they're feeling disassociated or they're feeling depressed or anxious, it's when I'm feeling those things, the thing I'm always explaining to people is like, I just don't feel like myself.
Yeah.
And I'm not even meaning that in a deep way, but when you're saying that, like it's making sense why everyone says like, I just don't feel like myself.
Exactly.
It's not like, oh, I'm feeling like myself, but I'm feeling this way. You really feel like you're not yourself.
You feel disconnected.
Yes, you feel so disconnected because that's not who you really are. It's like that, I don't know, just stuck.
I'm so on the same page.
Yeah.
I love the little pep talk activations too. I've been loving those because I feel like sometimes it just feels too overwhelming, especially if you have a busy lifestyle or like I'm a new mom and I'm still navigating that. And to be able to even add those into like when I'm doing my makeup, like a little 5-minute pep talk is so genuinely shifts the way that I show up that day. And I appreciate that so much. What was I just going to ask about? Oh, well, I saw this video on TikTok that was saying like they realized that the reason their childhood was so magical wasn't because they were a child, it was because they were present. And I do feel like that, where even these activations when you're listening, they bring like presence to your life, but also, like you said, you can be doing something else. So you can be on a walk or you can be cooking or you can be getting ready, but it's like making you lock into that moment and like romanticize it and feel very present.
It's like inspired presence because it's not like none of our activations are silent, clear your mind type of activations. It's not meditation, it's activation. It's designed to activate the best version of you to come out, right? So I love that you say that because the best version of all of us, I believe, is like present but inspired and striving but grounded. Right? It's kind of that both at the same time. So it's great that they make you feel that way. That's the intention.
How do you feel happy with where you're at while also striving for more? Okay, how do you find that balance?
It's a very good question. So first of all, you cannot hate yourself to a life you love. That's the first thing we all need to realize. You cannot hate yourself to a body you love, to a career you love, to a relationship you love. You can't. It's not going to work. You have to first, this is the whole formula. You must first become the version of you that you want to be, and then you get to live her life. It's not you get the thing and then you feel that way. No, you need to be her now before you create that life.
I love the be her now.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
it's
activation. Yeah.
I freaking love it. It's so simplified. And I think in my work with my book, with activations, with everything I teach, I really try to simplify it because I was there. Yeah. I was there feeling stuck. I was there feeling confused. I was there feeling, how can I do that? All these other people are way more disciplined than me. How can I get to where I want to be? So I remember feeling this way, fuzzy, and just not knowing where to go and what next step to take. So whenever I teach, I always try to simplify it down. And the truth is, it is simple. It's not complicated. You just really, the 2 steps to transforming any area of your life is one, clarity. You must get crystal clear on who you want to be and where you want to go, because how are you going to get there if you don't know what it is, right? And that's the simple first step, clarity. You also need to get very clear on how it feels in your body to be her, not just thinking it, but feeling it. You need to feel with your body how it feels to be living your future now. You need to have clarity on what in your life you want changed, what in your life, you desire. And step 2 is becoming. then you must be her now in everyday moments and just act as if you're already her. Start training your brain to think like her. Our self-image can change. This is all self-image psychology based, all of this work. Our personalities can change. And when we begin showing up like her and being her now in daily moments, it's not one day I'm going to transform and have this big thing happen and then finally I'll be happy. No, 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 no. This happens in the tiny little moments in your day. Doesn't even have to be every moment. It's just like little nuggets of your day, just tapping in, conditioning yourself to be her now while you're getting your kids from, preschool, when you're doing your makeup in the morning. And we actually have a user that wrote in last week and she was like, I listen to a 2-minute pep talk every morning when I brush my teeth. And when it turns off, I'm done brushing my teeth. And that's all I do. That's the only way I use the app. And the past month has been like extraordinary.
Yeah. I love that.
It's not about these big moves. It's like everyday small things. So being her now, be her now is my version of Nike's Just Do It. It's like simplifying it.
Yeah.
So
I when you were just saying that, okay, we've been on tour and we do like a little Q&A section on tour, and someone was asking us about, I promise this relates, marriage advice.
Yeah.
And something that we were talking about is like making the mundane moments romantic and passionate. So like, yes, everyone's like, well, you got to spice it up, go on these big dates, go on these trips, whatever. But I feel like truthfully what you're doing day to day in a marriage is like brushing your teeth together, when you start having kids, like talking about schedules, just all of these little moments. Those are the moments you need to focus on making exciting and happy and passionate and romantic. And, they don't have to be crazy. But when you're saying that, I feel like what's clicking to me and why I like these so much is because it's starting to retrain your brain to think of these moments as romantic, like as romantic, that is what romanticizing your life, not just waiting until you're on your trip or like when you're on a plane, then you can romanticize your life looking out the window. It's like, no, when you're brushing your teeth, when you're doing your makeup every day, that's what you do every day. So it's going to be so much more impactful to you if you're feeling like, oh, I'm having so many more moments. This is my whole life feels romantic. I'm not waiting for like those, trip every once in a while. Yeah, those big milestones.
The crazy thing about the waiting thing is that you're just going to be waiting for the rest of your life if you continue having that as a habit. And hey, that's coming from me. I used to continue or always say, oh, I'll be happy when. That was like my belief back in the day. I'll be happy when I make that amount of money. I'll be happy when I get my dream body. I'll be happy when this happens. And I was living in this perpetual state of I'll be happy when. And then I was wasting my life. And I had to realize, wait a minute. If I continue down this path, I'm going to wake up one morning in my old age and look back on my life with so much regret, it would kill me. And I think a lot of this work comes back to just being in tune with our mortality. And I know it's heavy and it feels icky to even think about, but we have to sometimes because it really just, when we're in a funk and we need to get back up and just feel good again, that is something that connecting with will likely get you back into it, because the truth is that this is not a dress rehearsal. We have one life and it's going by, whether we like it or not. So do we want to spend that one life feeling happy, feeling confident, doing what our soul desires want us to do, being the person that we want to be, creating the life that that little voice inside that I was talking about earlier whispers, hey, what if we could have, more? Do you want to live your one life as you have been, or as this version of you that exists, by the way, that is possible, by the way, fully possible? Which one? It's a choice.
Yeah.
I want to talk about Sorry, do you want to
go for it?
I want to talk about manifestation with you because, again, I have so many different trails we can kind of go off on this. But number one, I think it's very hard sometimes to look in the mirror and take ownership over your own life. And it's very easy to get into kind of this victim mentality, which I've been in many times in my life. Like, I'm speaking from personal experience where you're noticing the bad. You're kind of like, oh, if that person didn't act like that, then I wouldn't feel this way. This person's, bothering me in this way. That's why I'm in a bad mood and blah, blah, blah. And it's kind of just this perpetual cycle of victimhood and blaming. And I feel like the most powerful thing in the world is taking ownership over your own life and your own reactions to things and your own mood. And manifestation, I feel like, goes hand in hand with that. Like, I want to hear your take on manifestation and maybe explain it as though you're explaining it to a skeptic or someone who's like, that's not real because I've had all of these bad things happen in my life.
Okay, so much to unpack here. The first part I'll respond to is yes, we are all 100% responsible for our lives. No, we are not all starting from the same playing field. Yes, so many people have disadvantages. We might start off in a place that is worse than someone else, but we are still 100% responsible for our lives. We are not fully in control of everything that happens to us, but we're in control of the 50% of the equation. E plus R equals O. The event plus your response equals the outcome. So the event, sure, we can't control certain things. Your response, that's 50% of the equation.
Mm-hmm.
And then that outcome will change.
Mm-hmm.
So that was actually the biggest belief that changed my life. Back in the day, I was in such a victim mentality. I was like, oh, like I didn't come from money. My parents can't help support this, like, dream of me wanting to be an entrepreneur of this and that. And, like, oh, I can't have that because of this, or I'm not this enough. And it's this constant stream of like victim, why I can't, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing that changed my life, the only real big belief, if I could tell you one big belief, it was fully taking accountability for my life. Because when you realize you're 100% responsible, you begin to realize that, wait a minute, if I'm responsible for my life, I can create the life I want. When you're in victim mode, you don't even really try because it's like, it's not up to me, you think, but it is up to you. And you can find stories about people that started from a worse spot than you that created more than you've ever wanted.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all about this mentality of, you know what, I am going to create this life, because you need that energy, you need that passion. And also it's just a fact.
Yeah.
So stop lying to yourself. Being in this victim mentality is very comforting.
Yeah.
It kind of absolves you of responsibility.
We are always chatting about how much work and effort it is to make sure that you are serving your kids healthy meals and that you're just planning accordingly, going grocery shopping. It is a full-time job to do that alone. And when you are a working parent, honestly, no matter what kind of parent you are, if you're staying at home, if you're working, it is just a lot to be feeding yourself, feeding your kids. And that is why we're so excited about Nurture Life, especially if you have a picky child around new foods. I feel like this kind of goes in phases for kids. Like sometimes they'll kind of eat whatever. Sometimes they start to get more picky. You could be like feeling desperate for a good way to introduce them to a healthy variety of meals. And that is where Nurture Life comes in. This podcast is sponsored by Nurture Life. It's a meal delivery service that makes nutritious meals and snacks that your kids actually want to eat while giving you as the parent the support that you need to. So Nurture Life's whole menu is perfect for kids ages 10 months to 10 years old. Their fresh meals and snacks are delicious, nutritious, and fully cooked. So they're ready to serve in just 1 minute, and they are so, so convenient. They have things like chicken and mac, which Benny loves. She loves some chicken and mac and cheese. They also have like peas, hidden squash in there to get some extra nutrients, and she just eats it right up.
I heard a fact the other day that I'm hoping is true, because it was talking about how toddlers are, evolutionary wise made to be picky eaters, because little kids aren't supposed to be just putting everything in their mouth. So if you have a picky eater, it doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. It just means you have to get creative. And that's why Nurture Life is so nice, because it can put those hidden veggies and make sure they're still getting nutrition with their meals that they like on a daily basis. So head to nurturelife.com/WWS and use the code WWS for 55% off your first order plus free shipping. That's right, 55% off plus free shipping. Once again, that's nurturelife.com/WWS, and make sure you use our promo code WWS. If you aren't a parent with young kids, you might have parent friends who struggle with mealtime. Make sure to share our code so our show gets the credit. Remember, put your little ones first with healthy meals from Nurture Life. I love hearing the lore from my dad. He always has the craziest lore where he's just, this nice, sweet man. But then when he tells me stories from his childhood that him and his friends just being feral, it's always shocking. But I love to hear more about my parents and my grandparents and just hear more about how they came to be and how, they came to be the people that they are today. And that is why I love Storyworth and really recommend Storyworth memoirs for your loved ones this holiday season. It's such a good gift. We've now given this to my mom. We've given this to my grandma. Seeing my mom go through the process, I can tell you firsthand, it is such an easy process for them. It's a rewarding process for everybody. And I was able to see my mom's whole story put together in a beautiful book. Each week, Storyworth emails a loved one a memory-provoking question that you get to choose. So they have questions like, what were your favorite toys as a child? What are you most proud of? All they need to do is respond to that email with a story, and they can write a story over email, record it on the phone for Storyworth to transcribe. If they're not super, tech savvy, it's perfect.
After a year, Storyworth compiles your loved one's stories and photos into a beautiful keepsake hardcover book. Photos are printed in vibrant color, and it's just a treasure that your loved one and you will be able to share and revisit for generations. This is such a special gift. What's great about Storyworth is that even though they've been around for years, they're still innovating. So this year, they actually added a bunch of new features to make storytelling even easier with personalized questions and magic editor. Meanwhile, their magic layout and their new book designs make finished books and especially photos look even more beautiful. They have printed over 1 million books and preserved 35 million family stories since their founding 13 years ago. They have over 48,000 5-star reviews on Trustpilot, and it's just an amazing, amazing gift. So give your loved ones a unique keepsake that you will all cherish for years. Storyworth Memoirs. Right now, save $15 or more during their holiday sale when you go to storyworth.com/whatwesaid. That is storyworth.com/whatwesaid to save $15 or more on your order. I recently did a Q&A on Instagram, and actually multiple people asked me, shockingly, what my favorite puffer jacket was. I thought that was interesting since I don't live somewhere cold, but I do feel as though no matter where you live, you need a good, solid puffer jacket in your wardrobe. The Amaze Puff from Columbia, you guys, you're going to be obsessed. It is so soft. It's so warm. It's so cozy and comfortable. It has a removable hood. It has tons of colors. And it has 3 different lengths. So there's a jacket for every look. It has built-in backpack straps for versatility in the winter. And obviously it's going to keep you warm in cold weather, but really it's just so cute too and cozy. It just has it all. It's a down jacket. It has super soft thumb holes at the hands that keep the jacket looking great and keep you warm as well.
This truly is the jacket that you can take with you everywhere and you can rely on the softness and the warmth and the comfortability. It's like wearing a hug, but it's also a jacket that you'll look cute in and feel great in. I know when I lived in Utah, that was my biggest beef with jackets is I wanted to be warm and I wanted to be comfortable, and it would be snowing outside, and then I'd walk outside in some ugly puffer and be like, okay, well now I don't feel cute. Now I'm not enjoying my day. The Amaze Puff truly is the jacket. So head to Columbia.com to get your hands on an Amaze Puff jacket. They're tough on cold, soft on you. I actually just got the blue color and it's so cute, and it's a fun little pop of color. So go check it out. And you don't really realize how, I think something that is very eye-opening to realize when you are in a rut or like mentally or emotionally you're going through something, and it's happening for a long time. I've had times in my life where it's like it's happening for months and months, and I'm starting to get so frustrated. And I'm like, I need to get out of this rut. Like, how can I get out of this rut? You start to realize how over that amount of time, your negative thought patterns have
compounded,
literally built
Yeah.
a castle.
Mhm.
They have like been working overtime, and you realize the opposite is true as well. Like, it's almost like a powerful switch that you can be like, okay, all of this time, where has this worrying and negative thinking,
Mhm.
it has been programming me to think this certain way. So I guess I've seen now that it works because I'm worried and anxious 24/7. What if I did the opposite? And like, let's see if we can really, turn it around to be the opposite and look for the good instead. And because I'm already doing the opposite. So why not just flip it on its head?
Yes, and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Mhm.
So to answer your second part of the question about manifestation, kind of comes into this self-fulfilling prophecy. Naturally, if we think it's going to turn out a certain way, we're going to do the things that end up making the situation turn out that way. So
Mhm.
I'm not really into like the woo-woo manifestation stuff, like the movie The Secret, where they depict someone visualizing a red car and it pops up in front of them. Like, that's just not how it works at all. But I will say that the type of like manifestation and attracting your dream life work that I teach and that I believe in is all science backed, first of all. And second of all, it can also be described in so many different ways. So I noticed that, a Christian might call it prayer, a spiritualist might call it the law of attraction. An atheist might call it the placebo effect. A scientist might call it quantum physics. Whatever, whoever it is and whatever they say, it's kind of the same thing in different words.
Mhm.
So I realized, okay, there's this theme that when you have an intention and you show up as the person you want to be and you know, with intention want to create this new life and you start doing the things, it's going to happen.
Yeah, you
It's-
almost feel like it's taken care of in
Yes.
all of those.
It's just
like
how
you
the
put
world
in-
works.
Yeah.
It's reality.
Mhm.
It's creating your reality with your intention, with your thought, and by who you are, because all of this work is rooted in self-image psychology. And there's an incredible book that I read that was written in the 50s. It's kind of hard to read, but it really was pivotal for me back in the day. It's called Psycho-Cybernetics by Dr. Maxwell Maltz. And a lot of the work that I teach kind of has a lot of his principles, you know, weaved in through it. Our personalities can change, I mentioned. Our self-image can change. So to get to where we want to be, we need to embody the self-image of our future self. Okay, that sounds cool. How do you actually do that? You need to remind yourself in everyday moments by using classical conditioning the mind
Mhm.
to then start thinking like her, start believing the same beliefs she has, start showing up like her. And the more you do that, you kind of get into this like limbo where it's like you have one foot into the old life and then one foot into the new life. And then you kind of spend some time like in this weird in between gray area. And then the more that you just take the bunny trail, I like to use this analogy of, you know, creating new thoughts in your brain and choosing new things as like a bunny trail. So think about it this way. Think about all the old limiting thoughts that you've thought about for years, like I'm a victim, being that thought being a big paved road in your brain, okay?
Mhm.
It's easy to take that paved road. You've taken it many times before. It is easy and effortless to take. But when you start to think, okay, I'm going to start thinking a new thought, whether you're listening to an activation or you've just journaled this morning and you're like, I'm going to change that like thought pattern in my brain, you essentially choose to take this bunny trail, the big paved road, and then you have a forest next to it. In that forest is this tiny bunny trail. And then you start taking it. The first time it's uncomfortable. You know, you got to move through the branches, you got to it's very uncomfortable. It feels foreign. But then the more you take
And you kind of
it,
feel like you're doing something wrong too. You almost are like, wait, this is not what I'm used to. Am I like on the wrong
it like
thing?
itches your brain. You're
Yeah.
like, what the heck's going on? It's not comfortable.
Mhm.
And then the more you take this bunny trail, the more it becomes its own trail, its own path. And then soon enough, if you keep taking it, it becomes its own big paved road. And the old paved road has cobwebs and trees have grown there, and you don't want to take that road anymore. So that's literally like our brains are malleable. Okay.
Mhm.
Neuroplasticity. You can literally retrain your mind to think in a new way, to believe new thoughts.
Yeah.
And you just have to feed yourself information.
That's kind of what I was saying before, even with the, you know, if you've gotten yourself to such a negative mindset, you've proven to yourself you can dig your way into a hole. Like you've
Mhm.
proven to yourself that you can get yourself to such like an extreme mindset. So now you actually, if you like look internally, like, okay, I have the proof that I can do that. I didn't do it the way that I would have liked, but now I know that like over time, if I'm implementing positive thoughts, then I can get to a more positive place. So you don't have to feel like, at least for me, that's how it was. I was like, okay, I've already been doing this for a negative reason. Let me just switch and do it for a positive reason, even though it feels like uncomfortable and new. And like, yeah, I used to believe in this like years ago, but things have happened. And like, I'm more skeptical now. I'm more cynical now. And I was like, well, even when I started the activations, I was like, okay, we'll do it. And like, okay, I've heard this before. But honestly, like, it just made me feel so energized and excited. And I was like, this is the feeling that I've been missing, is like turning my energy into excitement and like my nerves into excitement. Like I'm still going to have the thoughts, I'm still going to have these things, but I need to turn it into a positive feeling. And then I've been feeling excited. And I feel like when you feel, at least for me, I'm such like an energetic person. Like if energy is everything to me, and if I'm feeling tired or something, then my whole mood starts to shift. So to me, like I am so protective of my energy and of feeling excited and feeling like, oh, I'm having fun. Like this is a enjoyable experience. And then I'm like back on, I'm like, okay, I'm on.
It's aliveness,
I'm locked
I
in.
think. That's
Yeah.
what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Aliveness.
Mhm.
That's literally the emotion that I seek every day of my life.
Yeah.
Aliveness. And I have a theory where the things that make you feel alive slows down time. You feel really good. You feel on purpose. It's like the juiciest part of living life, right? The aliveness.
Mhm.
And then on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, the opposite of liveness is numbness,
Mm-hmm.
is feeling numb.
Yeah.
And what causes that? Mindless scrolling on social media for too long, binge watching too much TV and feeling like crusty and gross, over drinking, overeating, drugs, anything that numbs,
Mm-hmm.
any disassociating, numbing thing.
Avoiding, even just as simple, I think, as avoiding things.
Yes.
Like, even if it seems not so drastic, like any kind of avoidance behavior
Distracting
starts to make
yourself.
you feel very, very numb.
Anything that distracting
Mhm.
yourself with anything negative, that's numbing.
Yeah.
And when you numb, time goes by very quickly. You feel like crap even way after
Yes.
Yeah.
you've done it. Hours after you've had a mindless scroll, brain rotting session, you
Yeah.
feel like crap and then you're
Mhm.
not motivated. So you really need to remove certain things from your life to feel that aliveness once again. And we live in this world where we're all so addicted to our phones. I literally need to delete the apps, the social
Yeah.
media apps off my
Yeah.
phone.
Oh, we've
Do you
been
have
talking
a brick?
about that.
Do you know what a brick is?
I've heard of that.
Okay, you need it because, well, I'm not saying you need it, but if you need to delete apps, that's how I feel. It is like this little device that locks you out of certain
I've heard of
apps,
it.
and you have to physically have it to get back in.
Yeah, but then guess what? I'll go on Safari and do Instagram.
no, you
Live.
can't do it. You can't do
You
it
can't?
on Safari.
Oh,
I
damn.
tried.
Oh,
That's how you know I'm an addict.
I tried.
I tried.
Yeah,
So
so
funny.
you can't. But I actually, one of my favorite activations that I've listened to on the app is the stop scrolling mindlessly on social
stop
media.
mindless scrolling. It's
Yes.
that one.
Mhm.
And it's so funny because, like, I'll be listening and you're like, how do you want to feel today? Like, do you want to feel numb? And I'm like, you
No.
clocked me.
Yeah,
You clocked me.
that's what happens.
Do you want to feel numb?
Yeah. Just be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
Do you want to feel numb? Yes or
Yeah.
no?
I
Okay,
know.
no.
Mm-hmm.
Choose something. It's kind of hard in the moment, but then you feel so good after.
Yeah.
It's not
Yes.
actually that hard. It's like working out. The hardest part is like getting your running shoes on, and then it feels good.
That's why you guys need to download the Activations app instead, so that when you're going on your phone to get on Instagram or TikTok, you can be like, okay, I'm bricked out of that. Now I'm going to do something that's actually going to be a positive thing, and it's going to get me
Yes.
going. Like,
Well, it's
now
the
I can
only
do my
app-
laundry and listen.
Yeah.
It's the only app on your phone that actually makes you feel good.
Yeah.
I've noticed. Like we've had
Yeah.
we have a lot of users write in messages. Like we have a whole customer love channel on Slack, and our customer support team or our social team will always send screenshots whenever someone shares a story. And every day we get like dozens of these amazing stories. And a lot of people have said, you know what? This is the only app on my phone that actually makes me feel alive and
Yeah.
make me feel good.
Totally.
Because it gets you off your phone, actually.
Yes.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
gets you, like, I do when I'm folding my laundry, or just like little things where I usually would turn on a podcast,
Yeah.
or I usually would turn on music and numb myself, where I'm like, okay, I don't want to think right now while I'm doing this
Well,
activity.
podcast, I actually think screen stuff numbs you more. Like I love
Yeah,
listening
yeah,
to
it's
podcasts
true.
and music. I think a lot of podcasts and music can actually make you feel alive.
Yeah.
But
Especially this one.
yeah, especially what we said. Okay, that's like the only podcast that makes you feel alive.
Exactly.
But you know, activations is just it's a new category of audio.
Yeah.
Excuse me. That you can listen to. So when you're in the mood
It's
to
more
listen
intentional.
yeah, it's like when you're in the mood to learn something and listen to a podcast, or like feel like you're hanging with the girls and listening to what we said. That's a certain mood. Love that. I love listening to podcasts. And then you have a mood if you just want to listen to music and just be kind of like not thinking about things, right?
Yeah.
And then you have another mood where you want to listen to an audiobook. And then you have a mood where you feel like you just want to feel alive again, and that's the
Yeah.
activation.
And you need a pep. Not to put you on the spot, but do you think there's any way we could get a little like discount code for our girlies?
Yes.
For the
Valley
activations
Girls
app?
want it.
100%, of course.
We'll link it for you guys.
Yeah,
so you
yeah.
can
Well-
make sure and go check it out.
You know what we
You
can
need
do?
to.
I can get my team to create like a landing page, because we actually can't offer discounts on the App Store. They don't let you.
Okay.
But if you go to our website, let's just come up with a link now.
okay.
We could do activations.com/what we said.
Yeah,
just to
what we
make it
said's
easy.
perfect.
Okay, so activations.com/what we said.
Yay.
By the time this is live, it will be live, and I'll get the team to offer like our mega discount in there. And then we also have a 14-day free trial. So if anyone wants to try it for free,
Okay,
and just
perfect.
see if it works for them, which
Yeah.
I think it will. But
Yeah.
you know, it's for a long trial. I always want to offer a very long trial,
Yeah.
because it's like you can actually change your life in 2
Mhm.
weeks.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
can really feel different in 5 days, but 2 weeks is a very long time to feel different. So try it out for free. Take advantage of the free trial and
Yeah.
see if it's for you.
Thank you. That'll be perfect.
One of
I
my
love it.
favorite ones to do is the where you put your legs up on the wall.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I
one
love the
was
leg up.
listening to
Synthetic
last night.
drainage.
Yeah, it was feeling grateful. It was like a gratitude one. And so I did it last night, because sometimes it's if you're forgetting during the day and
Yeah.
like you're trying to wind down at night. I was trying to go to bed early last night, and then I put it on, I put my legs up on the wall, and I was like feeling all of this gratitude. That also is so energizing, but so calming at the same time, where it's like, again, giving you that excited feeling and like reminding you of gratitude and the things that are going right in your life, instead of at night when you usually start thinking of, at least for me, we were talking about how as moms, like you have this laundry list of things, not only that you need to do, like there's a huge list of things you have to do and need to do. Then there's this other list that's just constantly like a cloud in your head of things you should do. And those always seem to like just take a back seat, but they're like always haunting me at least. And that just was so nice to look at all the things that I am doing. Because I think just as women in general, I think, or people, we can be so down on ourselves of things we're not doing and things that we should be doing. And that is so discouraging to go with that mindset into your new day, into being like, okay, well, I'm already behind. So like, we'll see what I can do today. But when I was feeling so just like remembering gratitude and like journaling, I love journaling. I feel like that is like such a good way for me to.
You should try the writing activation.
I want to do that next.
They're just guided journaling.
Yeah, I
it's
need
like
to
a prompt,
do that.
music prompt. Like it kind of gives you the time to do it.
Okay, I need to do that because I love journaling, and that will be so nice to have the music as well. I might not be able to keep up with my hand though.
We give you a good chunk of time. But,
that's good.
But gratitude actually makes you very magnetic. So 10 to 20% of the activations in the app are more like calm, not calming necessarily, never clear your mind like meditation. It's more like gratitude or like connect with yourself or go through something,
like
right?
Focusing. That's what I was feeling. Like, okay, I'm able to like focus my mind on this.
Yeah. So that's maybe 10, 20% of the content. The rest is very like energizing, motivational, cinematic type of stuff. We have so much. We have like 700 plus activations. So there's a lot of content. But what I will say, gratitude literally makes you magnetic. It makes you so magnetic. When you start getting into a state of feeling happy and grateful for something that is already in your life, you literally feel like this frequency starts dialing up and you start to feel just like this magnetism for more of that stuff to come into your life. And this, again, I don't want to get woo-woo. That's not very woo-woo. It's actually a brain thing. When you start to notice the things that are going well in your life, you reprogram your RAS, the reticular activating system in our brains. It's essentially a filtration system that we all have in our brains that helps us, or it consciously tells us information that is around us that is important, right? So for example, we've probably all heard of this example. You're thinking of buying a red convertible, you start seeing it everywhere. It's not because they've manufactured it more. It's because your RAS noticed it because you thought about it. So the same thing happens when you're starting to focus on the good happening in your life, on why maybe you're a lucky person, why your life is amazing, why you're already on your way to where you want to be and things are good. You're literally going to start seeing reasons pop up everywhere to continue this self-fulfilling prophecy that we were talking about earlier. And the same thing will happen though with negative thoughts. If we start thinking, oh, of course I didn't get that raise because nothing good ever happens to me, or I'm not good enough. Okay, you're going to start seeing reasons everywhere in your life. That guy is not going to text you back, or this is going to happen. And you're going to start noticing so many other things. Yeah. But when you start to focus on what you want more of, and you start to think thoughts and beliefs that align with where you want to go, you're literally going to start noticing doors opening that were always there, but you just didn't notice them.
What about, I kind of mentioned this to you before, but like I went through infertility for multiple years. I guess I can kind of speak from my experience with this. I feel like it was 4 years total. And I would say it was 2 of the years I was extremely negative, and I would say 2 of the years I was actually very positive. And it's interesting because I really believed a lot in manifestation, and I felt like I really was living my dream life for a very long time. Like from a very young age, I've felt that way. Because I found success at a pretty young age. Like I started making good money when I was like 18 or 19. And then it kind of was like a self-fulfilling prophecy where I like saw the evidence that I could make money. And so I was just like, oh, I'm like going to be successful in my life. This is easy for me. And I liked that whole thing of like thinking of something and it happens. And I feel like when I started going through infertility, that was the first time, not the first time I like didn't get what I wanted, but that was something that I was like, oh, I'm manifesting this and it's not happening. And I feel like that really put me into like a different mode and a very negative mindset where I did start to notice all the bad. It's like, oh, this isn't working. And now this isn't either. And and I remember at that time I was doing social media full time. And I felt like my career was kind of not going downhill, but I was like, oh, I'm not getting as many views either as I used to. And now this is happening. And I felt like it was just this downward spiral. But then I had this conscious like rewiring, and I can't pinpoint an exact moment, but I remember being like, enough's enough. Like I need to get out of this mindset. And like, even though the thing I want isn't happening right now, I need to like look for the good and believe that everything will be in the right timing. And I had one of the most successful years of my career. Like I made the most money I had in years. I was truly, I feel like because of the mindset shift. But the thing is, I still wasn't getting pregnant. So for 2 full years, I was making great money. I was like happy in a lot of ways, but I still wasn't getting that thing. And so I guess it's like, I wanted to share that, but also ask you, like, if someone is going through something like that, where they're like, I'm not getting the one thing that I want, what would you say to them with like the whole, just because I think it can be easy to get into that negative spiral when you're not getting,
And first of all, I'm so sorry that you went through that. I can't imagine how hard that would have been. And it's such a sensitive topic. But I think what I can share is what we spoke about earlier, being like the event plus the response equals the outcome. It's like, we can't control everything that happens to us. Okay. Shitty things are going to happen sometimes, but what is that response going to be? And how can we reframe it while doing our best? So I'm sure now maybe you look back on this journey and you realize, okay, I learned a lot about myself. This might have gotten me closer to my partner. Also, I'm now looking at this little girl and I'm like, it was always going to be you. Even if I had to wait 4 years, it was going to be you. I was actually talking to a friend the other day who's also struggling with conceiving, and she was really upset on the phone. And I was like, listen, you can think about it that way, or you can think about it in the way that your perfect little baby that is meant for you is coming in their own timeline. And you just have to trust that everything is going to happen the way that it's meant to. And I know that is so hard to believe sometimes when you're in such a dark place. But what's the alternative? You know what I mean? What, just continuing to be down on yourself? Like, you have a choice with how you're going to react to a certain situation. Like, maybe this is helping you connect with your body more. Like, start taking the right supplements or whatever it is. Like, really tuning into yourself and learning how you can react and respond to things that are bad happening in your life, right?
Yeah.
Life's not perfect, but we have to be able to do our best to put ourselves in a position where we can thrive as much as possible and allow ourselves to be sad when we need to be sad. Don't suppress emotion. Feel it, express it. Okay. But then also try to be your own best friend. What would you tell yourself if you were in a really low moment? Or what would Chelsea tell you if you call her and you're like, oh, it's just still not happening? Talk to yourself like that. Treat yourself with love. All you can do.
Yeah. I feel like that was the shift. Like, I literally have a case study where I'm like, for 2 years I was so negative, and then for 2 years I was so positive. And even if it wasn't happening, I still was having a lot more fun. I was more successful. I was happier. And it's like you said, what's the alternative? I think it's super valid to go through very hard times, and you have to honor those emotions, like you said.
You have to feel it.
It's super important.
You have to feel it. You can't stuff it down because it's going to be held in your body. You need to let it out. You need to feel it.
But it's also that piece of like taking ownership of your response and being like, this is very hard. This sucks. I wish it was happening. But these are the things I can control, and I'm going to move forward with, trying to be the healthiest, happiest version of myself in this moment. And I think that's very, very powerful.
I think that something like recently that I've been thinking so much about is resilience as well, and how like manifestation and having a good mindset and all of that goes into like things being hard and things that you can't control and being stuck and all of these things that seem to, once they start to happen, you start to feel like the instinct of like, I have to protect myself. I have to be ready for these negative things to happen, like for these bad things to be happening. And I need to be ready. Like, I don't want to be caught off guard. And so I think a lot of us can like build up a negative mindset because we're trying to protect ourselves. It's not like we're coming at ourselves with like, I don't know, we're not trying. We're not trying to be negative in a way, but we're feeling like we have to protect ourselves and we have to like cushion ourselves and we start to just
like
again,
I don't want to
that.
be so happy and then like you said be
Yes.
caught off guard if like I'm living my dream life and then this horrible thing happens and
Yes.
it's like knocks me down.
So you
I know
start
what you
to
mean.
subconsciously start
Protect
to plan.
yourself.
Yeah, you start to plan for things to happen so that you can have the proper protection, like the proper shield for those things.
Comes from so much fear. Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like that is something that I was kind of trying to figure out for a while is like, okay, how can I get through hard things in life? Because I know I can't convince myself bad things aren't going to happen. Like I can't lie to myself and say that. But how do I maintain a positive mindset and go through life and not be scared and all of these things? And I feel like resilience has been such a theme and like word that's just come up so much. And like, how can I just never give up? Like, how can I build resilience to these things? How can I like channel that just toughness and also be happy and go lucky and be having fun? Like, how do those things coexist? But I feel like energy, like going back to the word energy, I feel like when I have energy, regardless if things are hard, like I need energy to be resilient. Like I need to, and I always have that within me to tap into. And I feel like that is such a positive thing to think about is like, okay, I always have this arsenal of energy deep within that if I can tap into somehow, whether it's by doing a certain activity or whether it's like doing something I know that aligns with me that's going to, you know, listen to an activation, listening to music that really like gets me to tap into myself, then I will be able to be resilient and get through this thing, whatever is going to come my way. And then you start to feel very comfortable with uncertainty. And then it can be exciting. Like uncertainty can be so terrifying. But if you have if you're working on your mindset and if you're constantly like intentionally telling yourself that uncertainty is also where possibility lies, if that's where opportunity lies, then it can start to feel like life is exhilarating and not terrifying.
Yeah. And also, like, don't you want to be surprised with some beautiful things happening in your life? I love the feeling of awe and wonder and like that feeling of, oh my gosh, that like I love surprise. So why are we trying to control things so much? And the biggest thing I think when it comes to manifestation, living your dream life, is knowing the feeling of the result that you want and then being strict on like, that is where I'm going, that is the life I'm living, but then being loose with the how and when you get there. You know what I mean? There have been so many situations in my life where I was like, this is it. This is my big break. And then it just didn't happen. And I'm so grateful now that those opportunities didn't happen because now I'm so on purpose. And I'm sure this will continue happening for the rest of my life and for everyone else's. You know, the world, the universe, whatever you want to call it, kind of brings you in certain directions. But you really need to adopt this thinking of, okay, you know what? Something better. If not this, then better. And it's not toxic positivity. It's just thinking in a positive, optimistic way. You know what I mean? Like, it's why would you not want to live that way?
Yeah, I think toxic positivity is the opposite of what you were saying when you need to feel things.
Exactly.
Like toxic positivity is almost numbness. It's like avoidance.
It is.
Totally.
Yes.
It's like, I'm going through this hard thing. I don't care. I'm happy. Like lying to yourself. It's like, you don't have to lie.
No.
Yeah. Do you have a crazy manifestation story? Like, what's the craziest thing you've
I don't
ever
know. Which
manifested?
one do you want to know? My whole freaking life is a crazy manifestation story. Honestly, it's actually kind of crazy. And sometimes I need to pinch myself and look at where I am today compared to where I used to be.
Yeah.
And I could honestly get emotional talking about it. It's wild. And I often actually nowadays connect back with my younger self. You know, the younger Mimi that started all of this and started trying to change her life when she was at that rock bottom moment. And I wish I could go back and like give her a hug and be like, you're going to get there, girl. And it's going to be better than anything you've ever imagined. And I'm so happy that you're putting in the work now and choosing to be this new version of you. It's not going to be a very smooth road, but you're going to keep showing up for yourself and it's going to work. So yeah, manifestation.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Are you like a specific manifester where you're like, I want to make exactly this amount of money and then like, how would you describe your own manifestation practice?
That it has happened to me. But what I will say is that's actually not really what I believe. What I believe is like your future self frequency, which is the clarity piece I was talking about earlier, how it feels in your body to be your future self. that is very important. That's like a radio signal that you're giving out to the universe here. So my future self frequency, it's like the feeling that thing I think I want gives me. So for example, let's say a big, beautiful house with all organic groceries stocked in the fridge, and going to the grocery store, not looking at the price tag, or having a beautiful relationship with a man who just takes care of you and loves you and is just obsessed with you, and, having a healthy body that feels strong and resilient, and whatever it is that you want, feel what it feels like in your body to already have it. Like, what do you think it would feel like once you get there? And that feeling, I believe, can translate into a few different things. Like, I never knew I would make my money in a certain way, or live in the Bahamas, or have a few homes around the world. Like, I didn't know that was going to be my life. Like, back in the day, I'd envisioned myself maybe living in a different type of home, but the feeling was the same that I have now of like satisfaction and happiness and abundance and opportunity and love and health. So I believe that, and I also prefer it this way because then it allows for that, like the universe to kind of like show you, that awe. But I will also say that I have had very weird specific coincidences that, listen, I don't know if it's just coincidence or it's this work, but the first time, like years ago, the first month that I made 6 figures, it was exactly that on the dot, and it came from a thing that I didn't expect would happen, like stuff like that. So
I honestly like that style of manifestation a lot because, like you said, it kind of allows for surprise. And I think sometimes if you are getting too specific, like I want to make this exact money, I want to live in this exact house, it's like you're kind of putting your element of control over something.
And you might miss something better.
Yes.
This or better.
Yes.
That's
whereas,
what I say.
Like you're saying with the house in the Bahamas, it's like maybe, and I always love that. I always say, like, I'm sure I haven't met people yet who are going to be like my best friends. Like, I'm sure I haven't met people in my life who are going to mean a lot to me. And to me, that's very exciting. And I think if you have that attitude with everything, like, yeah, maybe I am going to live in a foreign country one day. Like, that's exciting. Instead of being like, oh, I will only live here. This is what it will be. What were you going to say, Chelsea? Kind of interrupted you.
Oh, no. I wasn't saying
She was
that.
going to say, what, you're going to have a new best friend?
Yeah, I was going to say that. I said, why are you hoping for a new best friend? Like a manifestation board, just like, new bestie, please.
Someone else to do the podcast with. No, but I think the reason I think that way is because I've met so many people in my late 20s who I'm like, oh, you are going to be a part of my life for a long time. Like, obviously I had, like, Chelsea's my high school best friend. So we've known each other forever, but you almost kind of just see life that way where it's like, these are my friends. Like when you're in high school, this is just my life forever. And I think it's been pleasantly surprising to see that like new people get added to my community every year. And I'm like, oh, that's so special. And I might meet someone when I'm 50.
And she's like, I'm taking people out of my life. You're next, bitch.
No, but it's
the signs are here. You heard it here first.
Awesome. I'm kidding.
No,
I do understand that as well. It is just more an exciting way to live life. And I think the more you tap into that feeling of, oh, I want this thing, and like, oh, what would it feel like to have these things? Once you're actually in that feeling, you don't care about the specific things. I think that's the beautiful part of it. It's like you tap into the feeling of, okay, how would it be to have this car? And then once you're in that feeling of like, oh, it would feel like this, you actually start to just be happier, and like you just have a more open mindset that you actually don't even care if you have that exact
and then the car comes and you're like, eh.
Yeah, you're like, oh, great. But
That's
now
actually
your
the
life's
worst.
better.
That's the worst thing about manifestation is that you get so comfortable and familiar with having the thing that once it happens, you're like, of course it did. But then you're like,
great.
I need to learn to celebrate things more. I often will be like, oh yeah, of course, like we just made this amount with the business last month. I'm not even phased by it.
Yeah,
because
like,
you're like, I already
ordered
felt what
that.
I was already living in that reality ages ago. Like,
I ordered that. That's why the gratitude, I think, is so important
so
to like
important.
take a moment to be to lock in and understand like these are the things I once asked for and now I have them. At least I need to do that as well more often.
we all do.
Yeah.
It's important.
As a Kendra Scott partner, we are sharing with you how we make this holiday season special. I think one of the most special gifts to give, honestly, yourself or anyone else, is jewelry. And if you want to, make the season sparkle a little more, you guys need to check out Kendra Scott. It is your destination for holiday gifting with presents for everyone on your list. I am very into curating an earring stack right now, and I feel like they have a lot of different options for like different price points too. I love just a classic diamond stud, and if you are wanting to invest in some beautiful diamond studs, they have those. They also have like crystal ones that are much more affordable if you don't want an actual diamond. They have really pretty gold or silver huggy hoops that you could wear like every day if you're a gold or silver girly. I just got some really beautiful small hoops that are like have these different gems on them that are really cute. I can't wait to wear them this holiday season.
The Kendra Scott holiday collection is full of beautiful pieces across fashion, demi-fine, and fine jewelry that are ready to shop. You can also design your very own custom jewelry piece through their color bar, both in store and online, which I love custom jewelry. I feel like it's so special and shows somebody that you know, really put a lot of thought into their gift. I just got from Kendra Scott these like emerald gem. It's a bracelet, and then it's also these little hoops with these little green gems. It is so pretty, and I feel like it's going to be perfect for a pop of color for Christmas time and holiday time to just add a little sparkle and fun to your outfits. And that's what I love about the holiday season. Being an adult, you have the opportunity to make the season magical. So visit kendrascott.com/gifts and use code WWS20 at checkout for 20% off one full-priced jewelry item. Exclusions apply. Expires December 31st, 2025. That's kendrascott.com/gifts and code WWS20. It'll be linked in the show notes for you guys.
You guys, I'm so happy that Winx Health is a sponsor of this podcast. We all know that I have some UTI trauma and I could have really used this product. I honestly wish I knew about it much sooner. So Winx Health is the sexual health brand making all the, I do not want to deal with this stuff, actually easy. So for UTIs, yeast infections, BV, Winx Health's at-home test and treat kits tell you what is going on down there. They can get you prescription treatment the same day without stepping into a waiting room, which is so game-changing. And truly, I could have used this and it would have been so helpful. So I'm just very excited to give this resource to you guys. The Restart Morning After Pill is legal in all 50 states and available to anyone of any age. It has the same active ingredient and effectiveness as Plan B.
For UTIs, yeast infections, and BV, Winx Health's at-home test and treats kits tell you what is going on down there and can get you prescription treatment the same day without stepping into a waiting room, which when you have one of those things, you know that time is of the essence and you want to get help immediately. But also, you've got life. You've got things to do. You're busy. Winx Health is 100% women-owned, OBGYN approved, and obsessed with making sexual and vaginal health less confusing and more in your control. So you can find Winx Health nationwide at Walgreens or delivered in 30 minutes via GoPuff, DoorDash, or Instacart. So just head to hellowinx.com/WWS for 50% off Winx at Walgreens. That's hello, WINX.com/WWS for 50% off. Go check it out.
Fall always feels like a reset, and between, back to school, busier routines, shorter days, finding the time to cook can be tough. We absolutely love Factor. Their chef-prepped, dietitian-approved meals make it easy to stay on track and enjoy something comforting and delicious no matter how hectic the season gets. I love this so much, especially for lunch. I feel like lunch is something that always slips through the cracks. Like, we're pretty good about our breakfast routine. We'll usually have dinner together as a family, but lunch, we just get busy and it's like, okay, what do we have that we can throw together? And these Factor meals are ready so quickly and are so delicious. I've never had one that I didn't like. You can choose from a wider selection of weekly meal options, including premium seafood choices like salmon and shrimp at no extra cost. You can also support your wellness goals. So they have even more GLP-1 friendly meals, new Mediterranean diet options, packed with protein and good for you fats.
I was so happy to see my Factor package get delivered and my fridge stocked with my favorite Factor meals. From more choices to better nutrition, that's why 97% of customers say that Factor helped them live a healthier life. Feel the difference no matter your routine. It really just helps you dip your toe into eating healthier and better meals. If your schedule is feeling busy and overwhelming, which more than likely it is, eat smart at factormeals.com/whatwesaid50 off and use code whatwesaid50 off to get 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for 1 year. That's code whatwesaid50 off at factormeals.com for 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for 1 year. Get delicious, ready-to-eat meals delivered with Factor. Offer only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase.
I want to ask about kind of the guilt that sometimes I think can creep in with, and I don't know how relatable this is, so tell me what you think, but sometimes I feel like when I get deep into the whole manifestation thing and I'm just like really living in that kind of power and I'm like, I'm living my dream life, I have my dream, blah, 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 I can sometimes then it just becomes apparent to me how people in my life or just even people around the world, like they don't have that privilege or like do you know what I mean? Like there are things happening in the world that are very bad, and you know, maybe people I know are going through very hard things, and so then I start to kind of feel this guilt of like, well,
Why
should
would
I
I
be?
deserve that?
Yeah, why do I deserve to like have a dream career and a dream family and a dream body? Like, why is that even important when like other people seem to not have that? And so I think sometimes I can start to feel not undeserving even, but just like guilty for that.
I totally hear you, but I think you need to reframe it and think about how important it is than ever. This is literally the most important time for you to be a light, then to help shine around everybody else. The more good people that we have in the world, the more good happens in the world.
Right.
So I hear you. I know. And it's hard
Yeah.
sometimes, especially like I've definitely had situations where I'm like, oh, like, why can't you just, why can't life be different in this way for that? Like, but
Right.
it just, you have to realize that all you can control is your own life. The only life that you are responsible for is yours. And if you can just shine brightly as you continue to, hopefully that's an inspiration. So I hear you, but I don't think that should be the focus. The focus should be, how can I keep contributing my lightness, my energy to the world, and hopefully make it a better place by that. It's person by person. There's a big collective that needs to shift, but it starts with the person.
I also, as you're saying that, feel like when you are feeling miserable and letting negative emotions like guilt or shame or something come in, you start to become actually very selfish. And you start to be thinking of yourself because you're trying to fix yourself. You're just like, okay, how can I get out of this? Like, you're just thinking of yourself a lot. At least that's speaking from personal experience. And you start to realize that there's so much good that you could be doing, even just around you, like in your neighborhood, at the grocery store, like helping people out, that you start to miss because you're reeling in your own negativity and reeling in your own victimhood, that you start to miss like these little moments that you could help people. And I feel like a lot of people will say like, well, I just want to I need to focus. I need to get this done so that like later I can help people. It's like, you open your eyes. Like, you can help people right now. You can your neighbor across the street is like struggling to put groceries in their thing. You're like, I just wish I could help the world. And it's like, well, just walk over and help them. And then you're helping somebody right now if you just got out of your own head. If you just were in a more positive mindset, if you were just looking for opportunities instead of thinking so negatively and thinking so much about yourself, you could be doing that instantaneously. Like, you could be doing that right away.
And when you're in a bad mood, you don't want to talk to people.
Exactly.
When you're in the elevator, you're in a bad mood. You're not saying hi to the guy next to you.
You're actually ruining their day because you're being rude to them.
Yeah. And you're going to honk at someone, or you're going to, so I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
The happier you are and the more aligned you are with the version of yourself you want to be, the better life is around you, the better the people feel around you. And you just create such a positive, light in the world.
Yeah.
So 100% aligned with that.
Yeah.
And I know that this work of transformation, for anyone at home listening to this that feels stuck, that feels like they need to rediscover themselves, or they just need something to feel different, remember that it does not need to be this big, hard, crazy mountain that you need to climb one day. It really comes down to those little things that you can do every day, the little habit stacking tools that you can use. So whether that's even putting a scoop of collagen in your matcha or your coffee in the morning, I do that just to have something before I get my caffeine because I don't like to eat right before. Whether that is, listening to an activation while you're doing your skincare in the morning, whether that is, doing gua sha in the shower because you always forget if you're not for me personally, I always forget to do self-care stuff. So I literally have the gua sha thing in the shower while my conditioner is sitting, and I'll just do it there. These little tiny things, you don't need to carve out an hour in the morning to have this big morning routine. Why don't you just habit stack certain little wellnessy things that make you feel better? And transformation does not need to be complicated. Remember, be her now. Whatever you can do to remind yourself to be her now, do it. Okay. Whether that's having a friend that's your accountability buddy, and every morning you guys text each other being like, okay, I'm going to be her now, while I'm doing this thing, or wish me luck because I'm going to go be her now in this interview because I want to get this new job. Whether that is, listening to an activation to be her now when you're in line at the grocery store, whether that is, deleting all social media off your phone for like the weekend and just being in tune with yourself and getting out of your head and being present. Whatever it looks like for you, just remember that's the most important thing. Being her now, okay? Because when you feel like your future self in everyday moments, doing something that you repeatedly do, you take advantage of classical conditioning. We've all heard of the Pavlov's dog theory, where Pavlov rings the bell and the dog salivates. We've all heard of that. That's classical conditioning. That's pairing a new thought or belief with an external stimuli, right? So if you are, for example, listening to a pep talk every time you brush your teeth in the morning, you don't even need that pep talk soon enough to feel confident, abundant, inspired while you're brushing your teeth. Like, what a random moment just to like automatically snap yourself into this better mood. So the more you do that with more areas of your day, the more you're going to transform, the better you're going to feel. And it doesn't have to be this hard, big, laborious, intense thing changing and feeling better. You can start small. You can just start where you are and you can change. You can. Like anyone listening, you can feel better quite quickly if you just kind of commit a little bit and you realize that you're actually deserving of a better life. I think that's a big one. A lot of us women don't feel like we deserve a better life. We feel like we're not good enough. We have worthiness issues. You deserve it. You deserve to live your one life in the way that you want to live it. We all do.
It's a very good reminder, especially the simplicity aspect, because I do think that when you're on the precipice of a self-growth journey, it can feel very daunting. Like you said, you are listening to maybe all these different podcasts or reading books and you're just like, oh my gosh, there's so much I want to do. And I feel like, speaking from experience of having a baby and being postpartum and trying to get back on track with my fitness and stuff, like I did IVF to get pregnant. So I feel like literally for 2 full years of my life, I just like wasn't in the fitness routine I wanted to be in, because it was always like, I have to take breaks now because I have to do shots, and I'm not feeling well now. And so about 6 months ago, I unknowingly I was being her now, because I basically just told myself, I'm like, I am just going to tell myself I am someone who prioritizes my health and fitness. I want my daughter to grow up around that. So that's actually just my new identity. That's my new personality. And then I started going to the gym 3 times a week, and I've basically haven't missed like in 6 months. And I'm actually seeing results for the first time in a very long time. And it's been so empowering to realize, like, I literally just told myself I am someone who, this is important to me.
And you felt it.
Yes.
You didn't just think it, you felt it.
Yes.
Huge difference. I love that for you. Well done. Have you noticed, actually, question, that once you started working on that self-image, it actually wasn't that hard to get up and go to the gym? It just kind of felt like natural?
No, exactly. It felt like it was just a part of my life, like a part of my
just
routine.
Who you are.
Yes. It's just like, oh, this is important to me, so this is what I do. And even on days when it wasn't convenient or something, it didn't feel like I was dragging, like, oh, I have to do this. Like, this is my life. This is my routine. This is what I do. So I'll go at night if I have to tonight, or I'll do a 15 or 20 minute thing at home, or go on an extra long walk, but this is a priority to me. And like, I feel like it's basically just aligning with everything you're saying, is like being that person today and feeling what that feels like. And it really is crazy how, I was telling my husband too, I'm like, it's just crazy how if you don't take action on things, like, they don't happen. So if 6 months ago I didn't do that, then I would be in the same position right now. And like, thinking of that, I'm just like, that sounds miserable to me. Personally, from just like how I was feeling, very, I had a baby, I'm giving myself grace, but it was just a lot. So it is so powerful to take action, but I love just the reminder that it can be simple and it can just be something that even you focus on one thing. Because in that example, like, I focused on fitness. I wasn't like, okay, I'm going to have the best skincare routine, the best beauty routine. My job is going to flourish. Like, all those things are great, but I focused on just the one, like, really honed in on the fitness thing, and then everything improved. Like, every area of life I feel like improved, which is so nice. And I feel like it's a testament to like everything you're saying. It's just like feeling very aligned.
Commitment.
It feels good to feel good. It feels so good to feel good. And it committing to yourself, a certain confidence comes from that, because confidence comes from keeping promises to yourself. And I've definitely in my past lived in this state of promising myself something and then failing on it, and then waiting till Monday and then dropping off, and being in this cycle of continuing to lie to myself and not keep promises to myself. But I was also doing that because my self-image was just not aligned with the things I wanted to do. So it was a lot of friction. It was very hard. You know, of course, habits are very important. And, you know, we've all read books about habits, but actually the most important thing is your self-image and your personality. If you see yourself as the type of person that lives a healthy life, it's going to feel weird if you don't feel like do healthy things that day.
Right.
Or if you have a cookie, fine. But like, you're not going to want to eat the whole box because like you're not.
It's just like
you know.
misaligned with your
Yeah.
own values at that point. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. You have anything else you want to
No, I love all of that. I'm like, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go get my goals done.
I love
Yeah.
that.
Get activated.
Thank you so much, Mimi, for coming on. This was so invigorating. I know everyone's going to love it and feel energized and inspired, which is just such, people like you are so important in the world because I feel like truly what you've created with this app is very unique. Like it's actually a very unique experience to listen to these activations. It's much different to me.
It's not what you expect when you hear, because you automatically think like, oh, I've heard this before, I've done. But then as soon as you're listening, like just give it a try. The first one, it's very different.
We put a lot of energy and effort into these audios. We have a whole production team, audio engineers, composers, writers. Like it is a very cinematic movie moment type of experience.
It's very moving.
It makes you feel like you're the main character of your own movie, whatever you need to go through. So thank you for loving the app and inviting me on. And I'm so happy that you guys love it.
No, thanks for coming. Seriously, this is great.
You know what I was just thinking, since we're going to make like a landing page for your audience, we can also add both of your favorites, like
perfect.
a screenshot of both of your favorite activations so that if people want to go try it out, they can start with the ones that you guys like the most or something.
Love.
That would be perfect.
Yes.
They're going to be obsessed.
Okay. I love the money ones too, just to end on that.
The money ones are
my fave.
So transformative. Like you just feel rich after listening.
I love feeling rich.
I love it. The abundance.
I love a rich moment.
The unlimited potential in life, this like abundant feeling. So, okay, everyone listening, if you're going to go try it, you need to listen to the Manifest Money ones. There's a whole section under the targeted visualization category. So go to the Manifest Money section. That's one if you're into that kind of thing. And then another one that I've just been, it's an OG one that has like hundreds of thousands of downloads on the app that I just am so obsessed with. It's a walking activation called Become Your Magnetic Future Self.
Ooh,
and that's like an experience. Like that's one of our more intense ones that like literally transforms you from the inside out.
I love that.
So that's my recommendation of the day.
Thank you so much. They're so good. Our audience is going to love it. And yeah, guys, go check out our little landing page. You can listen to mine and Chelsea's favorites or any of the ones that we talked about today. But thank you so much, Mimi.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you guys so much for listening to our episode with Mimi. We hope you loved it. Reminder to go to the link in our description wherever you're listening to this. It is www.activations.com/whatwesaid. That's going to give you guys an exclusive free 14-day trial, also a major discount. So we're grateful that they were able to do that for us. You can look at our favorite activations and all of that. So go check that out. We love you guys so much. And that's what we said.
Bye.